Another day, another dollar. Or as they used to say, another peso. I don't know. The economy? What? It's Thursday. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. Right now it's about 8:34, give or take, Eastern Time on your Thursday. I look to see what the big headline is this hour. Some kind of real estate collapse somewhere and the economy's going, like, the economy doesn't do all that. But here's the really big thing I think is happening at the moment. Because this just absolutely transcends exciting. I mean, I personally just absolutely went apeshit when I heard the news that Kim Kardashian has won the Fashion Icon of the Year award. And I saw the video. I didn't have time to put it together. She received it from last year's Fashion Icon. I think the first name that all of us think of when we think of fashion and icons, Tracee Ellis Ross, who is, of course, Diana Ross's daughter and the star of that sitcom Blackish. Now, I admit to being male, which means my understanding of fashion is basically, where's my sweatpants? That whole thing is just, I mean, Stella McCartney's a famous fashion designer. Who else? Yeah, like I said, sweatpants. You know what? I don't even have a thing under the thing. Slow news day. Let's get politics out of the way. See, that's supposed to have a music thing. Let's try that again. There we go. Obviously, I didn't run it long enough yesterday when I was doing the thing. My bad. All right. The Senate has killed Biden's vaccine mandate. Okay, here's my question. Well, it's not even a question. It's just and if you're like me, you roll your eyes, you shake your head, and you just want it to all go away. Mommy, make it stop. The Republicans, the Trumpists, the Trump cult is responsible for this, and I'm not advocating for the mandate necessarily. I'm just offering you this. Here's the hypocrisy is not even the right word. Here's the bullshit of what's going on here. These folk blocking everything that's trying to be done just because it's democratically oriented, because it's Biden in the White House, boils down to this. We're not going to get vaccinated. We're not going to wear the masks. We're not going to stand for mandates. We're not going to pay any attention to anything you want to do. But, oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? You've been president almost a year. How come the pandemic isn't over yet? That's just bullshit. I don't care who you are. Mentioned yesterday that Mark Meadows, who was chief of staff for Trump, was going to cooperate with the January 6th committee, then mentioned that he's decided to back up because obviously Don Corleone said, that ain't happening, buddy. So now this doofus is suing the committee. They issued subpoenas. It's a congressional committee, and it's a subpoena. Check out Dave Simmons and My Own Blab episode from about a year, was it now, a year and a half ago? The infamous subpoena episode. It's a subpoena! If it doesn't mean anything, then nothing means anything. If the rule of law isn't followed, then there's no point in worrying about following laws. If the rule of law is not applied, if the rule of law is not happening anymore, then fuck the speed limit. Go 180 miles an hour and tell the cop to shove it up his ass. Or her ass. First responders, equality, inclusiveness. Here's the bottom line on the Meadows thing. He's just the latest. Donald Trump's a fucking bully. He's always been a bully. That's how he gets what he gets. He's talentless, gutless, just like all bullies. Make the most noise, intimidate people at every turn, make them back up and be frightened of you. It's the Wizard of Oz. And he's the big, ugly green head by the pipe organ with the steam blowing on the other side, except the green is orange. Okay? Nobody pays any attention to the fact that he's just a useless little man hiding behind a curtain, but that doesn't matter. That's what bullies do. It's Scut Farkas, since we're being festive. Right? Remember him, the bully in A Christmas Story? Well, and then gutlessness follows. Meadows is trembling. Donald's going to hurt him, or Donald's going to sick the base on me. You know what? This is the kind of thing, and I'm just saying, bullying and gutlessness can very easily bring a democracy crashing down if they're not dealt with. And by dealt with, I mean eliminated. Okay? I don't mean just, well, we'll put up with it. Here's the good thing, though.
It's good. It's real good.
I kind of like this. I was going to show you the picture, but again, I didn't have time to get it on. But I read this morning. Klepetan is the name of a male stork who migrates from South Africa to Croatia every year for the last 15 years to be with Milena. Milena is a female stork who can't fly because she was shot by a hunter. Gutless. She lives indoors until his return, and they stay in a nest on a roof until he leaves. Kind of a checking in, baby. They've had over 40 babies. That's right, Milena and Klepetan. Okay, 40 babies, they should be probably Kim and Kanye. Funny, not funny. Speaking of, well, anybody in general, it's time for today's F-Off. Truth in advertising. I used to be not a fan, but I used to be okay with Tucker Carlson, who wants to be the next Sean Hannity. But now that this doofus has been on Fox News, he's breathed in the Fox News air, and he's poisoned his brain, what was left of it. Yesterday, and I didn't see it, I just saw a recap this morning when I was looking at it. He has declared that COVID-19, quote now, feminizes and emasculates those who it infects. He was talking to a guy named Niall Farage. He's a British broadcaster from over there in England where they talk funny. They were talking about Boris Johnson, who spent 3 nights in intensive care last year after testing positive for COVID, and that goes along with this latest revelations we've gotten about how sick Donald was when he got it too. And Tucker says, quote, so somebody who knows him told me, and I'd be interested in getting your take on this, that getting COVID emasculated him and it changed him, it feminized him, it weakened him as a man. And now Farage responded, well, I think he was very seriously ill. One of the things we have learned from COVID is people who are 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight tend to have fared very badly. Carlson interrupted to go back to the original theme, suggesting becoming sick from corona is a sign of weakness and therefore of femininity. But the virus itself, this is true, does tend to take away the life force in some people. I notice it does feminize people. No one ever says that, but it's true. Well, here's the reason that nobody ever says that, Tucker. Because you're an idiot, and it's bullshit. Show of hands. How many people are finding living life, just getting awake in the morning, getting out of bed, are finding it exhausting? And this is the reason why. Okay, now, let's go from the sublimely moronic to the stupidly... One of my favorite punching bags, Nicole Bublop from Colorado, the idiot with the assault rifle and the bar or grill or whatever the fuck she owns there in Colorado. And she's a member of the United States Congress now. And my latest fun guy, I forgot his first name. His last name is Massey. He's a representative from Kentucky. What were the odds? I'm going to show you this. Here's Massey's Christmas card. I'm not making this up. Thomas Massey. Merry Christmas, P.S. Santa, please bring ammo. And that's his family. I think it's a little blurry, but you can see. I think the kid in the middle's got the dog. Everybody else? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rittenhouse family. Now, Bobblehead, not to be outdone, responded with this pic of her family Christmas picture. The Boberts have your 6, at Representative Thomas Massey. No spare ammo for you, though. Huh? You know, I'm laughing so that I don't put a gun in my mouth. I'm not kidding. I mean, just ponder for a single maxi moment, for God's sake. Heaven forbid. Once again, show of hands. How many people are finding living in this life exhausting? I mentioned the other day that I'm 70. I turned 70 in August. And thank you. I look wonderful, don't I? I don't want to die. I'd like to live some more and do some things and enjoy my family and friends and stuff. But each and every day, the fear of death gets just a little bit less if it means checking out of this fucking area. Let's do the scroll.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
All right, and by scrolls, I'm just scrolling through to see what's going on. Let me flick this up here. Let me do it from the news bit. I was going to go to Facebook, but let's go to actual news pages and see what happens here. Top of the hour. Stuff we don't care about. What do we got here? Whoopi Goldberg scolds Sonny Hostin for body-shaming singers on The View. That sounds about right. Here's the super saw. That's the one that looks like a little alien. I should show that to you. Can you see that? Yep, put it over there in front of the camera. See that thing? Isn't that cool? It's like a surgical instrument with the discount doctors. The new Law and Order is filming. And by that new Law and Order, I mean what are we calling that? A continuance of Law and Order, the original series that was on for like 21 years. And so far, the only original cast member that's back in it is Anthony Anderson, the guy that played Bernard. You know, we mentioned Blackish a minute ago. He was the guy in Blackish with Tracy Ellis Ross, who was fashion icon last year, who just handed it off to Kim Kardashian. I'm still all verklempt about that shit. Let's see what else is going on. I read a nice article about Jennifer Aniston yesterday. Just thought I'd mention it in case you wanted to go looking for it. Boy, there's not a lot going on. You know what? Let me jump over here real quick. Let's go to Dave Simmons' favorite news source, CNN. Jobless claims hit a new 52-year low. Not sure how the cult's going to spin that. I think probably, I'm guessing, but it's an educated guess because I'm an educated man. I'm guessing it may have something to do with there's not a lot of people working, but there's not a lot of people who want to work, so they're not claiming joblessness. See, those numbers are deceiving in that. Here we go. Chinese real estate giant Evergrande has defaulted. Okay. How will that affect the price of gas? We'll find out. AOC has reacted to Boob Job's Christmas photo with the guns there, the one I showed you a minute ago. I'm not going to get into that now. Believe it or not, as much time as I spend, and I don't spend all my lifetime doing this kind of stuff. I do other things. I actually go outside every now and then. I'm as tired of it as you are. Probably more so, because I spend more time exposed to it, doing the podcasts and the writing and broadcasting work that I do. But to be exhausted to the point of being indifferent to it or apathetic to it or just saying that, as I've said before, I can't stand politics, I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know, it's indifference and apathy that allow that shit to come and continue, and those who want to do us ill harm, as opposed to regular harm, take that opportunity. It's like an open door. Believe me now, believe me later. Gerrymandering, yeah, okay, Obama says that's not how democracy is supposed to work. I would be delighted if somebody would just go kamikaze. And I don't mean get in an airplane and like fly into a building and hurt people. I'm talking about step up. And it would have to be someone in a position of authority with some clout. I haven't got any clout. I'd do it myself, but I don't have that kind of following. I just don't. And maybe I will someday still. Who knows? Maybe that's my destiny. McConnell-McCarthy divide, so what else is new? Boris Johnson, blah, blah, blah. This was kind of sad. Somehow a lady drove into the river that feeds to Niagara Falls. The Niagara River, I guess. We've been there. My wife and I went several years ago. It's beautiful there. And by the way, tourist tip, if you have never been, and it's not about being American, it's just about practicality. Stay on the Canadian side. Don't stay on the New York side. Because the falls, the big falls that you want to go, wow, you can't see them from the New York side because they fall from the New York side. You want a view of the falls, you got to stay on the other side of the river, which is Canada. We stayed in a hotel there in Canada in our beautiful 32nd floor room, and there was the falls. Just telling you. Happy to help. Anyway, there was some kind of old lady in the car. Maybe she had a seizure or something and drove into the river. The car did not go over the falls. By the time they got her out, she had passed away. And I think they were going to take the car to CarMax. Well, there's just not a whole lot of shit happening today, right now. Sick of Trump's face. I thought we were done with that shit. Guess not. And, of interest, and this will interest some people and totally piss off others, Hillary is now on Masterclass. That collection of professional people who do lectures and things. I've got a membership to that. It's cool. I'm not endorsing it or hyping it, but I've been able to spend hours listening and watching Penn and Teller explain magic tricks. Gotten a lot of great tips from authors like James Patterson and not Sean Cullen. Who am I thinking of? Aaron Sorkin does a screenwriting. It's like going to school. It's not that expensive. Anyway, Hillary's in there now, and she actually read her inaugural speech, the one she was going to give when she won the election there back in 2016. Remember that? Yeah, all right, that's enough of that. Let's do the rant. And the rant is not my own. The rant is courtesy of and credited to, thank you. She doesn't know I'm using it. Tracy Nelson is the daughter of Ricky Nelson, niece of Mark Harmon, granddaughter of Ozzie and Harriet. She is an actress, done a number of things. You might remember her best as a guest star on an episode of Seinfeld in the way back when. She played the girl that Jerry was dating who looked just like Jerry. And the only one who didn't notice it was Jerry. Remember her? Yeah, it's Tracy Nelson. Very nice lady. I've never talked with her personally or met her, but we've exchanged brief comments on Facebook from time to time. But she posted this yesterday, and she's not a particularly political person. But like many people who've simply had enough and are concerned and are making themselves heard, she posted this, and I thought I would share this to you as my rant as opposed to hers. I'm quoting her. Meanwhile, someone just gave Trump $1 billion to start his own media company. The Trump crowd refuses to say who, probably the Saudis, since Kushner and Mnuchin have already done deals with him. Now, Devin Nunes, supposed impartial California legislator, announces he's leaving Congress to become CEO of Trump's new media monster. With no media experience, you can't make this stuff up. Prepare for an avalanche of misinformation. Hateful, vengeful, corrupt twisting of facts to prop up one orange ass. I love America so much. I am so afraid for her. Between the politicized Supreme Court, the filibuster, the unrecognizable Republican Party, and now this, I really wonder what will become of American democracy in my children's lifetime. We are not too big and indelible to become something we don't recognize. I posted that, I shared that, and I added 2.5 cents. I said, this is not a tornado. This is a hurricane. And with a hurricane, you've got plenty of forewarning. But the warning's only good if you're willing to heed it. Finally. I'm sorry, this made me laugh, and then I laughed, and I said, it's funny because it's true, and it's sad because it's funny. Somebody set fire to the tree in front of the Fox News headquarters in New York. They do a kind of a big Christmas tree out in front of the thing, kind of like Rockefeller Center, except not quite on that scale, but still bigger than the average tree, about the size of the Griswold family tree. Somebody set fire to it and basically destroyed it. And they're all up in arms. Their panties are in a twist. They're crazy ape shit. I can't believe the liberals, the leftists, the anti-Trumpers, they're coming after us. This just proves the point. And here's the thing, under the thing. Yeah, okay, I got a thing under the thing. Here it is. The Trump cult, Fox News in particular being his propaganda machine for the last 4 or 5 years, have done, their single goal has been to pit us against one another. There's no debating that. And that's not a political statement, because we are. I don't care whether you're the Hatfield or you're the McCoy, and I don't know which one I am, and it doesn't make any difference. We are pitted against each other. We are in a civil war with everything except the weapons so far. That was their single goal, and they've succeeded. I give credit where credit's due. I give it to Trump, and I give it to all of his lackeys and followers, and I give it to the entire cult. Their job was to turn us into a mob raging at each other. Them versus us. You're either for us or you're against us. And now, yet, they're aghast that somebody has set fire to their Christmas tree. It's the stupid. That's all I got. Anything else come up? Nope. Don't forget, what was last night? You can now find the blab on the YouTube channel and the Facebook page from last night's show. Thanks for the responses. And the audio podcast is available at Podomatic.com. You can also find it on, let's see if I can remember this from memory, which is the best way to remember things. Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, I'm not reading this, Player FM, Deezer, Ghana, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and you can find actually it all on my website, SEPradionetwork.com, if you're inclined to want to listen. In fact, on my website, you can find the vidcast and the podcast. We had a fun Christmas show this week with only, it's an hour show, and we only did like 50, 57, 58 minutes of politics. So get in there and enjoy the holiday spirit. Be safe. See you later.